This is a story about how I produced and released a van conversion course as a one-person team with limited resources from a barn in the middle of a field with no mains electricity or internet. It all started with this ebook. It's my van conversion guide. I've updated it over the years and refined it based on feedback and messages I've got, but one request kept coming back and I was never able to fulfill it. People were asking for video demonstrations for some of the tricky parts of the build that were more difficult to explain with just pictures in the ebook. I thought instead I could make a complete van conversion course from start to finish, something that stands on its own but also complements the ebook. The more I thought about it, the more I realised I had to do it, but it was just never possible whilst travelling, so I shelved it until one day things aligned and I found myself living on a farm in a rural part of England with some friends, a little scrapyard and use of this huge barn. So I cleared it out, set up a studio and spent the next few months filming a complete van conversion course. And then I gave up. But then I gave up giving up. And then I gave up again, and then I gave up again, and that's how it was for the whole project. And as well as filming the course, I also filmed filming the course. So I want to give you a glimpse behind the scenes, because when people ask me what I've been doing, I never know what to say. No, but maybe this is actually useful and or entertaining, I don't know. Alright, so we'll start right at the beginning. Making a course. First, I have to write the script, or rather, I'll speak the script and then write it down. The structure of the course is all based on the ebook. I used the Scrivener app to highlight key B-roll footage and scene changes, things like that. With the script done, I started to gather what I needed to get started. I need gear and I need space. I cleared the barn out and put aside any bits that I could use for the course. Like this table, I cleaned it up, gave it a fresh bit of oil and fixed the wobble. Oh, and this chair as well, I'll have that. So I can have like the main talking head scene up here on this mezzanine, and then the van can go in the main area in the background there. It was perfect. But like many barns in the middle of nowhere, there's no electricity. And it's winter, so solar is out of the question. So I got hold of a broken generator and spent way too long trying to get it to run properly. The answer was to get a Honda EU10i. These things just always run and they're pretty quiet. But the mic still picked up the noise, so I had to make this silencer box. And I learned that the best way to attenuate noise is to direct it around corners, and that's what baffles do. It's like a maze and the sound gets lost. Then I made up a long extension lead and put it as far away as possible from I think we can call it a studio now. I used another camera to have a second angle because most courses have angles. Weirdly, luckily, the barn also had some spare tripods. I did some test shots and quickly realised I cannot possibly speak out this whole script from the top of my head, even if I did write it. I needed a teleprompter, and the teleprompter needs an iPad. All a teleprompter is just a bit of reflective glass that goes over the camera lenses. And then I needed a way to start the cameras at the same time, and for that I cut the cable off a shutter remote and wired it to both cameras with the remote switch on the desk, so I just click it and both cameras are rolling. Then I had to learn all about multicam setups so I can seamlessly cut between the cameras in the editing. Basically, I needed the cameras to sync up, and for that I used timecode. And to sync the timecode up, I just manually reset them at the same time before every filming session. And now they're both running the same timecode, and this means that the clips are all automatically lined up when editing. All this footage quickly became totally unmanageable. First, I needed a way to see at a glance which file is from which camera. I used Lightroom to catalogue all the footage, and on import I set it to rename the files from each camera, like Cam A and Cam B. Editing all this 4K multicam footage quickly became impossible with my computer. I realised I needed to create proxy files, which are low resolution versions of the originals used only for the editing process. But I still ran out of hard drive space, and all my external drives are too slow for video editing. So I put this fast M2 SSD inside a super fast enclosure. In fact, let me just Velcro it there to the back like that. I did a few sessions and realised that the video just doesn't look very good. And I know a bit from photography. The problem is rarely the camera, it's the lighting.
I might need another light.
So I learned about video lighting and I settled on a 3-point lighting setup. I think lighting is just one of those things that you don't really notice until it's removed. This is without a desk lamp and this is with a desk lamp. It adds a bit of warmth. This is without a hair light, and this is with a hair light. It creates this nice separation from the background. And that is the shot. As for the audio, the camera mic wasn't going to cut it. I tried a shotgun mic on top of the camera, but it just sounded bad. And I ended up using this Rode lapel mic, which lets me move around without sacrificing the sound quality. At first, I was having a lot of trouble reading from this teleprompter. I could do it, but it just felt and sounded unnatural and robotic. I couldn't get the scrolling speed right. Humans don't speak at a steady state. We vary it, or we meant, I think. Do I vary it? So a constant scrolling speed just didn't work for me. But then I discovered an app that automatically scrolls based on speech recognition, and this was the solution. It still took a bit of practice for me, but towards the end of the filming, I pretty much got the hang of it. How do I even get through all this footage? I took way too much footage and my takes were quite messy. A lot of things to cut out, silences, ers, ums. I spent the summer sat in this bath editing and editing. I didn't get on with Adobe Premiere. It crashed a lot and it was really unstable and slow. I ended up using Final Cut Pro, which was incredibly easy and fast to use. As for colors, nothing fancy. I just set my camera to shoot in a neutral color profile, and then I applied just enough saturation in Final Cut to make me look not dead. I learned about audio processing. I want the audio to sound better, but not too late night radio DJ. So I did the minimal to get it up to standard: noise gate, EQ, compression, and a limiter. But how do I make this look like a course with all the graphics and titles? I need a screen for a new chapter, the chapter contents, a new lesson, lesson steps, main titles, subtitles. There was so much footage to go through, so I had to learn some speed editing techniques using these shortcuts. And to keep track of all this, I created a custom Notion dashboard and productivity system to keep track of everything, from the overview down to the granular details. And things were very quickly becoming messy and disorganized. I had to come up with some workflows and systems to keep everything consistent and organized. And once I've established those, it's just rinse and repeat. Now it's time to get the internet. There's no 4G here, it's a dead zone, and there's no physical connections. I put this 4G Wi-Fi router on a mast, but it still wasn't good enough, even on top of ye old silo. I had a look at what cell sites are within range, and it didn't look very good. So I used the directional antenna array for higher gain, and I had to configure the router so it locks onto only the chosen cell tower. Otherwise, it can automatically switch to a weaker tower and drop out. Oh. And this is the point where I realised I'd lost the plot. So I drove to Sweden and didn't tell anyone about the course. But surely the hardest part's done. Maybe. Let's just finish it. Okay, so now I've got the edited videos, I need to actually make this into a course so it can be accessed. I set up a dedicated VPS server rather than typical shared hosting because it's faster and more reliable. And I'll be using the LearnDash platform on top of WordPress because it's just proven and it works well. As for the videos, they need a dedicated video host. And for that I used BunnyStream, replicating the storage over whatever continents I want. And now I have to create a page for people to access the course. I create a sales page going through what the course is and all the contents, and I've always found this to be the most difficult part, trying to communicate what it is you've made and who it's for and how it can help them. For this, I'm using Bricks Builder because with a bit of code, you're free to create anything you want. For example, I thought it'd be cool to have this van icon drive around the course map as you scroll down the page. I love that actually. Anyway, so that's the sales page. They click the buy button, they get taken to a payment page powered by WooCommerce, and after payment, the course access is immediately delivered by email. So, yeah. Ta-da!